majority of the deaths on his team.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because when he dies, he gets a whole lot more damage into his kit. You got to utilize the passive, man.
Yeah, no.
It's like Cogmores that refuse to die. I think it's ridiculous. A Cathian Surprise does a whole lot of damage.
Why would you buy GA on that guy?
It's so silly. I mean, I know, yeah, he's a late game hyper carry that does a whole lot of damage, but a Cathian Surprise, guys. Whoa. Okay, WE going to ban away the Azir and the Kalista first up. Nautilus and Gragas actually going to be the answer here from Vici. Intelligent work. They don't want that Gragas to be first picked away. They understand how powerful it is. And Alistar banned away once again from Marta. Not looking for that for the first pick. And Sion is going to be banned here from Vici. So Nautilus and Sion and Gragas here. Vici really hitting WE where it hurts.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you know, those were the picks that you thought maybe if WE could get their hands on them, they would be able to have a more impressive early mid-game, but they're all taken off the board. Aluka looking at Ryze. He has to because Dandy played an incredible game of it.
Oh, yeah. And they have to lock it in. GA might be able to play that in the mid lane if Aluka doesn't want to take that towards the top side, of course. We have spoken about Aluka not necessarily being able to play on anything that isn't a super tank, but there's not many of those still available. The Maokai snuck through the pick and ban phase.
Aluka does have one game on Ryze so far.
Yeah.
I believe. So we'll see whether he is able to get a successful game through there.
That's correct.
If you're a gambling man, you're going to say it wasn't a victory because they haven't won many, but...
Yeah, that's a good point. But it wasn't actually recently as World 6. Now, considering his other options, Rek'Sai is, of course, there as Spirit probably would be opting towards something like that, but it is going to be hovered by World 6. Now, Dandy, with a whole lot of options still left on the board, the Hecarim is there, most definitely. And we have seen Dandy definitely go off on that champion as World 6. Still considering his options, but Sivir looks like to be the one that Endless is going to decide on.
And we complimented Vici on their map movement last game. Now with a Sivir in their back pocket, the ability to run around the map even quicker, reposition themselves. And Echo, potentially a mid laner, maybe in the jungle as well for World 6 coming through there. It's just got high mobility again. There's these champions that come into the meta just able to win the 2v2, 3v3 skirmishes and then take objectives off the back of them.
Yeah, and you're talking about a Vici lineup that's very good at moving around the map. And now they can be moving the WE lineup into parallel convergence. They can move them through the jungle with that on the hunt that can just corral people. And look, WE now considering picking away the bottom lane from Vici last game. Interesting decision. And a lot of people have just been thinking that this Vayne does counter the Sivir. And last game, it definitely worked for Vici. We'll see whether WE can allow it to work in their hands.
Yeah, it definitely is a soft counter. Do not get me wrong. If Vayne is able to get the Blade of the Ruined King at even or ahead, which we saw last game, Endless was able to do, it just becomes this ability where Mystic was never able to farm his lane. There was just too much threat there. Then he had to group, and even worse, he was hitting a Sion that was just laughing at him the entirety of the game. So you can understand the frustration. So they're picking it away. They're going with the Janna as well for the support. Gives a little bit more safety. Not the best laning duo, but able to trade relatively well within the shield, especially if you go for some tumble points early in the game. We'll have to see whether Mystic and Conan are able to make it work.
Yeah, well, Vici now with the engage combo definitely in there as Dandy is going to lock away the Maokai there. So no more sort of super tank options here for Aluka in the top lane if he doesn't want to pick up that Ryze. See whether... We sort of assume that it is going to be the Ryze taken towards the top side of the map, but Vici now with a whole lot of engage potential and a whole lot of CC for their lineup as well.
Yeah, and the other thing is that if Dandy ever gets on top of Aluka, World 6 will be able to dive in and dish out a lot of early game damage. The passive that comes out of Echo, even when built full tank, is difficult to deal with. And the TF comp might be the response here. We mentioned the fact that they needed to fight a little bit more. They've got a skirmish-heavy jungler. They've got the global now coming out of Twisted Fate. That's not a global, really. It's like a half-y, quarter-y global.
Half global?
Yeah.
Half global.
Able to port places, at least.
A hemispherical. Can we call it a hemispherical?
I don't think we can. But Dade made it work last series. We'll see whether GA can do it this time.
Yeah, and Hatong, of course, on the Cassiopeia as well, doesn't necessarily have like a whole lot of range there, so you can just use the wildcards, farm from a fair way away, neutralize that lane just a little bit, but it is going to be the Thresh locked in for Marta. He's got a skin based on it, so definitely able to play that champion there, as WE probably going to consider looking for a lane swap themselves, as they've found themselves in the opposite side of the coin.
I actually think they still want to go 2v2 here because Aluka cannot be starved to farm. They've already shown that they can't play without that extra member on the map, and we'll see whether this time so much pressure on Spirit. We talk about it time and time again, but he needs to impact these lanes, especially this one on the screen right now.
Yeah, and him and GA as well. They can both do it together. The Destiny plus that Void Rush, able to move around the map very effectively with a teleport as well. They can get 3 people into a lane unbeknownst very, very quickly. We'll see whether they're going to be able to do that, as World6 going to try and disrupt any of those efforts as best he can on the Echo. Definitely a high priority jungler. Has seen a lot of bans just recently. GA, that man on your screen really needs to perform this game, and Mystic as well. If he can do his best Endless impression and get halfway there, he'd be pretty good. Yeah,
he certainly can. We've actually seen some pretty successful Vanes tonight. Even in the loss, Woosh was playing his Vane very well. Has burst back onto the team with these super tanks in the top lane, and this time pressure on Mystic, because he and Conan did not have a good game last time around.
Oh no.
We're bullied out by Endless and Marta, and we really need a win right now.
We do, Spawn. We need no, we don't. WE most certainly do, though, because they're looking to try and continue what was momentum moving in their favor, but since their last game actually taking a loss there against King, very unfortunate. Still a bottom-rung team here, so WE looking to try and pick themselves up into playoff contention, and if they drop this one, give the 3 points over to Vici, it's even going to be harder. But let's stop waffling, let's get into the game.
Waffle on, Atlas. Waffle on.
Okay, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. On to the rip for our final game of the evening. WE taking on Vici. And Hetong already with a few of those poison stacks already. Embrace of the Serpent really stacking up so far. Cleanse has been offered. And stop giggling at me, Spawn, for goodness sake.
Oh no, that's an outright laugh now. It's not even a giggle. As we see the deep wards coming through from Vici, and then the stack trying to see if they can get anything done early game. There is a ward there, so they have been spotted out. And deep wards returned on the side of Team WE.
Yep, so everyone just, the classic lane swap wards are going to be put down here, as do have the bottom lane of Vici Gaming towards the top side of the map, looking for what could potentially be a scouted lane swap. Vision, though, available for WE.
And there is a way to get into that jungle. Not that way. Although they still can't get there. They're going for a late 5-man invade to see if they can catch all of the members out. This would be devastating if it works.
Yeah, 3 members still waiting in that brush as well.
World6
6 might be caught out just a little bit. Timewinder is down, but
no.
Death Sentence onto Aluka. Forced to use that flash to get away. Howling Gale across 3 members. Heal's been popped already as WE very, very low. Ricochet just doing so much work at this stage of the game. WE thinking about turning this one around. No flash on Aluka. Not sure what he's trying to do here as they're trying to contest this blue buff. It's a 5v5 already. Another Death Sentence. Spirit blows his flash as well as Mystic's tumbling around this one. Conan going very aggressive, but World6, he nails the blue buff. And Vici, they're not going to lose any members, but they steal away the buff. And again, it's just WE not having the same aggressiveness that Vici do.
Yeah, but Vici had some spammable spells coming out there. The AoE of Sivir was doing work. The AoE of Hetong on Cassiopeia doing work. And Aluka went with actually the E start, not the low cooldown on the Q or something like the W for lockdown potential. Just wasn't able to get it done in lane, but they do get the 2v2. And Spirit should be okay to jungle on Rek'Sai. What is happening tonight?
Now, I'm not entirely sure. It's been some interesting stuff, but so far, Vici with 100 gold lead, as World6 going down incredibly low to this red buff, is just going to back away. I believe he managed to lock that one down. Death Sentence one more time. That's 3 for 3 for Marta as Conan. Wow. He's going to flash out of the way. He's going to just barely hold on to his life. It is touch and go, though, in this lane.
Yeah, and Conan already burned through all of his potions. Hetong going aggressive on GA. Once again, Vici have turned it up this weekend, looking like a much improved team.
Yeah, Mystic now forced to farm underneath this turret as well as best he can, losing creep after creep. 6 to 13 now, as Endless takes a whole bunch of damage.
Took a turret shot and the Silver Bolt proc, so that is what they needed to get back in the game right now. And Vici, they were able to go toe-to-toe. Oh.
He saw so the pause. He was like, what?
Oh. Where did my minion go?
So cool.
Yeah, Vici, they were able to take a game off QG. That was when Dandy went absolutely massive against V up there in the top lane. And now manhandling Team Wii as GA can't even land the wild cards. He's like, I am done with this game.
Miasma going to land as well. Poison on top of it. So much damage.
Red carded him.
Doesn't get the gold card. Reginald here in the mid lane. Not quite able to make it happen.
Yeah, but Spirit is in for a gank.
Oh, it was baited. No.
Doesn't have flash available, so not able to get in there. Otherwise, it probably would have been a kill with red buff.
No, so far, WE still holding on to what was their issues in the last game. I guess now playing with a little bit more, I guess, gusto.
Yeah, definitely. They're at least trying to fight more often, as Dandy has a huge creep wave score advantage in the bottom lane. It is only 6, but at this point in the game, that's not good news for the Rise, who should be able to
pretty
bully.
low.
Yep, exactly. Thank you for the backup.
Yep, you're welcome, you're welcome.
And they're scared of Mata. Like, they don't want to fight
too.
this
He's
guy
landed
at all.
every death sentence.
And he's playing his own skin.
Oh, misses that one. Yeah, that's the cool part.
Oh. I think Imp did it first. Was that who did it? I believe so.
Oh, wait. Did he play Twitch and didn't play his skin?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
I think that's what happened, and we got really mad about it. World 6, though, stunning up all of these minions. Spirit actually going for an invade here as World 6 quite low. Can't find the Praise Seeker, though.
Yeah, so mid lane was there on the side of Team WE and wasn't there for Vici, so World 6 just gets out of dodge. Actually going for the pink ward that he had earlier been thwarted, but will pick up this time around, so Spirit breathes a sigh of frustration.
He's going to be able to get it, though. So Krog's going to be counter-jungled away here from Vici by Spirit as well, who's continuing to farm very well.
Conan trying to get the spell shield out of Endless right there. Endless like it's just a rank 1 W, dude. I don't really care that much.
No. Boomerang going to come across as well as Endless takes some more poke from that tumbled auto attack.
So he is skilling up Tumble. I actually like this in this particular matchup because you have to trade within your windows as Vayne. So getting Tumble with that extra AD that comes through from Shield, you only have to put like 3 ranks into it, then you can max out your Silver Bolts as your Blade of the Ruined King starts coming through and you shred the tanks a bit quicker. But does give him a little bit more presence in lane than he necessarily would have.
Yeah, you can see already W actually turning this one around quite well. A couple of CS in the lead, able to at least move up, create a bit of a minion wave to force Vici away from trading blows with them. Yeah, he's calmed down in the mid lane just a little bit. He's able to at least use that stack deck, create some CS for himself as well. So he's evened that one out at the same time.
Yeah, farming up very well in the mid lane. So, you know, map has equalized. Only person really suffering right now is Aluka, who's gone back and grabbed his tier. So at least he is scaling up into that late game and mid game where Rise does so well. And Spirit has put the jungle back on farm. We want to see if he can gank a little bit more as, oh, a good trade coming through from Mystic.
Yeah, I like the use of Condemn there just to proc the Silver Bolts, make sure that that trade was locked down. Another tumbled auto attack from Mystic, but they found themselves with an entire creep wave.
Yeah, and they've got the freeze here if they want to. You can see Conan actually stopping that one in its tracks. And they're asking for assistance in the top lane right now, Vici Gaming. The Vayne coming up trumps in this matchup.
Yeah, Echo now forced to move towards that top side, so we'll see whether Spirit's going to be able to make anything happen towards the bottom. Really help Aluka out moving forward in this one. 10 CS the lead for Dandy. So the Maokai doing some work. Nice playback onto Mystic. Eye of the Storm is on him. Nice use of Tumble to get out of the way of that one, though, as the double Howling Gale knockup comes in.
And 4 members strong. Actually invading the blue buff again is Vici Gaming. They've got level 7 Cassiopeia as well as that jungler in there, and they're going to be able to take it away again.
Yeah, so Spirit doesn't have the Void Rush. He did have a tunnel there, but it's going to be removed by Mata as we speak. So WE unable to get their blue.
And this is actually a pretty big deal because you see the Lucidity Boots Rush come through for Xie in the middle lane. He wants to be able to use his ultimate, and the extra cooldown reduction that blue gives you means that it's just off cooldown a little bit earlier. So frustrating Xie there in the mid lane, even though he's come back quite nicely in CS. But it's all about this top lane right now. AD carry, Mystic actually doing a great job of getting ahead. He's 10 CS clear now, going to be able to shove in this wave and get his first shot through as Conan steals another creep. Come on, man.
He's so cheeky.
Trying to compliment you.
Yeah. But Mystic, we know that he's more comfortable in these hyper carries, the likes of Jinx, the likes of the Vayne, and you know, you might think that, you know, based on her low range, you know, the likes of Sivir, things like that would work out, but it's where the power spikes come in that really suit Mystic.
Oh, 6. In trouble.
Yeah,
needs help.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take that one out. Phase dive is going to get him at least to be able to kill the red buff, but you can't have Marta's help every single time.
Yeah, that's a second clear. First clear, you can have an excuse for it. As lane swap comes back through, Vici want to prioritize bottom side of the map for some dragon pressure. Aluka catches back up in CS, going to be able to head into that top lane. And with Bork nearly finished up here for Mystic versus Avarice Blade double longsword for Endless.
Yeah, Endless looks to be rushing a Ghost Blade based on that recipe. Of course, might just want it as many.
I think he's going to sit on Brutalizer. He's just going for as much AD as he can. So sit on the Brutalizer, then be able to scale up as Spirit able to grab a Rift Scuttler and get back over the wall. So right now, 700 gold advantage once again for WE. They've looked much better in this game.
Yeah, and GA as well going to be passively getting a little bit more gold with that passive as well. So Endless just partying a little bit here in the bottom lane as Mystic is going to answer this swap back. And we just have standard laning one more time.
And they believe with the TF ultimate, they can defend Dragon without the teleport coming through. So right now, teleport advantage for Vici Gaming, but Dandy really needs to make a play because Aluka closed that CS advantage because Dandy walked to the top lane and Aluka ported.
Yeah, but it's sort of a losing trade, isn't it? The fact that Aluka will be able to get some spare time if Dandy ever leaves the lane. And I guess, yeah, he'll be able to get down there and get some work done. But the fact that Twisted Fate will always out-rotate Hatong unless he can ult him out of his destiny, sort of a lose-lose situation here as Spirit is going to eat the first part of a Time Winder, but the full tank Echo not going to get too much work done. Some extra vision going to be laid down by Vici, but Spirit is going to be able to use the next round of that Raptor buff, and he's going to be more than happy to clear that out.
Yeah, so gets rid of it there as we see blue buff now going to be secured once again for Vici Gaming. So that is the one thing that is going in their favor, but they're just not able to turn it into any kind of sizable advantage. Now, Aluka actually bullying out his lane.
Yeah, CS advantage his way now.
Yeah, able to stack up that wave nice and big, see if he can get a free back end for himself to pick up that Catalyst of the Protector.
And at the moment, he's just a full tier in the lead. I mean, he's behind one Doran's ring on top of that, but now just going to be able to spam out those spells, really start charging that one up. And only 11 minutes into the game, feeling pretty good on this Rise, who's been able to deal with just regular laning throughout this whole game. Yeah,
and that's why they were looking for it this time around, because as I said, they already proved that keeping Aluka in the game is much more important than any sort of advantage they're trying to get onto Mystic, who has proven that he can lane fantastically into the Sivir lane anyway, so overall, once again, Spirit's just getting frustrated with the Tong in World 6, I think.
Well, they're playing definitely very far up here as Spirit's going to take down another Raptor camp. 42 CS to the 37, so Spirit farming this one out very well, but Vici's going to move towards this Dragon.
Remember, teleport is available right now for Dandy, and it isn't available for Aluka. So this is probably going to be first Dragon going over to Vici.
Yeah, so 500 gold. Oh, that was a pretty decent effort there by Spirit.
You see the ward in the wall?
That one down.
That's why he had a little bit more.
Oh my goodness, ward party here on the bottom side. Raptor buff once again used for double duty. That was 3 wards for 1 Raptor buff. That was beautiful. Love it. Luca just continuing to farm here on the top side of the map. 89 CS. Dandy's going to head back to base as well. Finish off his Catalyst most likely. Maybe grab some boots. Finish up some form of magic resist if he possibly can as well.
And now Dandy, he's able to teleport.
Rushing for it.
Dandy able to teleport back into the top lane if he wants to because he has the teleport advantage and Dragon just taken by his team. But we'll choose once again to walk there. Miss out on another creep wave and Aluka will go back and pick up, I think, maybe Catalyst and the Protector in his boots.
Well, as this has all been happening, Mystic has formed himself a 20 CS advantage here on the bottom side of the map. He's heading back. He's going to be able to finish off that Blade of the Ruined King. So now, having the teleport available on Dandy, a much more relevant thing. Because as soon as Mystic is going to go aggressive, he can try and teleport in there and try and get something done.
Yeah, but Aluka's is already back up. Dandy missed his window. They were able to grab a Dragon off it, which is definitely a good thing because they need to have some form of a win condition behind them. But right now, 1,000 gold advantage just from better laning coming out of WE, and they've caught out Dandy.
Yeah, Destiny going to be used here. The tree looking to go down for first blood if they can try and lock it. He's still pretty tanky. Fair bit of damage with that Maelstrom, but Hatong able to get the stun onto Aluka. Spirit going to be the focus though. He's going to fall down in response. Hatong is going to fall low, but Aluka gets a shield back. Time Winder from World 6's Conan. There's the Monsoon, and GA going to lock down Hatong in amongst all of this. Marta looking to try and bring in the cavalry here as Endless trying to lock down GA. Boomerang lands, wildcard to clear out some CS. Death Sentence goes wide. The GA not long for this world, and World 6 picks up his piece of the pie.
Yeah, able to get in there and I guess trade at least evenly 2 for 2. Teleport comes through from Dandy to save the bottom turret as well, so they might be able to come out ahead in this trade, Vici, by some good map movement. Yeah, it depends whether Aluka can get back, maybe pick up something and use his teleport effectively, but Vici are going to be able to take down this top outer turret. And look, Vici just look like they know exactly what they want to do after all of these messy skirmishes. Yeah, they certainly do, but 2 kills over onto the mid lane are definitely a good thing for this Twisted Fate to start snowballing. You see, picking up some more cooldown reduction, wants 40%. Now GA's got his lead, needs to use it to impact the rest of the map. Yeah, Thins on Holy Grail, only 900 gold away here for the Twisted Fate, so that's only a few more minions. What with that passive gonna power that one up just a little bit. Mystic actually doing very relevant damage to Dandy, who doesn't have any armor to speak of just yet. He has no armor, no MR. Dandy's actually... Yeah, Righteous Glory Rush is interesting. Yeah, I don't like Righteous Glory Rush, especially when you're against someone like Ryze, because Spectres just gives you so much lane ability, able to restore a lot of the harass that you take through there. I also think that Mercury Tread's a really important pickup against Ryze, because otherwise he changes CC so well. We saw it. Yeah, especially on this map. In the Looper... in the M3 series, where Looper was just able to blow up the Ninja Tabby jungler. Made it look severely unfair. Was not going anywhere for 4 rounds of spells. Yeah, W6D did not have a fun time that particular stage, but only 600 gold the lead for WE at this point. 1 turret to 0. If WE managed to equalize that one, at least they'll have more considerable lead, as WE now with the Rek'Sai joining them on the bottom side of the map might be able to answer it here, as Aluka going to cause a little bit of CS to be lost, but Dandy going to make it there just in time. 16-minute Rod of Ages coming through for Aluka, though. That's very good timing, especially because he's still topping up on Consumable and Ward. Tier also ticking over, so this is honestly a much better position for WE to be able to take control of the mid game. Yeah, and Jer not doing too badly since sort of the first few skirmishes went a little bit awry for him in that mid lane. He's just been able to sit back, farm up this one as Eye of the Storm onto Mystic, just going to allow him to freeze this one out if he wants to. Not sure whether it's the time for that, though, as WE probably want to start taking some objectives. Yeah, they are moving aggressively, and like with the Vayne, Twisted Fate, and the Ryze, they're going to scale incredibly well. Not to mention the fact that Spirit will scale better than most junglers just because of the fact that he has a global in his kit, which means that he's relevant at all points of the game. Knockups also help in that regard. So you have to think that this is actually the game where WE would want a long laning phase. We talked about it last time that they went for the long laning phase and it played into Vici's hands because they had the Scion, they had the Vayne. This time around, they've actually got a better scaling comp. Yeah, the thing I really love about WE is the fact that they identified that they were getting out-rotated. They couldn't get to their objectives in order to save them in time, and now they've got sort of triple globals with the teleport as well as both of the ultimates from Twisted Fate and Rek'Sai. So able to get around the map and make sure that they can answer everything that Vici's trying to do. Yeah, I definitely agree with you in that regard, and we'll see whether they can turn it into any kind of objective lead, because we mentioned Vici's still able to beat them around the map the last time around. They got a top turret and the 2-for-2 trade, so by bringing their AD carry and support up, did cost them a little bit of a CS lead. You know, you can see the 30 sitting on Vayne right now, but we'll see whether the WE continue to fall behind in those trades. And 5 CS to lead for Spirit as well. Cinderhulk and that Spirit Sightstone, already completed, going now towards what looks like an Aegis of the Legion, towards that Locket of the Iron Solari if he can. On the other side of the Rift, World 6 opting for a little bit more cooldown reduction, starting with the Kindle Gem as far as that's concerned, but pretty identical builds according to the junglers. Yeah, CDR is just super important coming through for the Echo in the jungle, able to use more rotations of his spells, makes him highly mobile, as we see Aluka once again just continuing to farm up, and Dandy did recognize the fact that he was in kill range and has gone for the Merc Tread, so it will be harder for the Ryze to lock him down. Yeah, Dandy thankfully listening to you, Spawn. He's going to be able to pick up those Mercury Treads, get him out of that rune prison as much as possible, as World6 and Smarter considering taking down this Rift Scuttler, but taking their time. Yeah, Rift Scuttler not being prioritized actually. They're on the Dragon. Both teleports are available. Both junglers have a way to stop it. We'll see whether this is time for WE to fight. Yeah, the teleports have come through from Dandy though, but he might be left on his own at half health here on the Maokai, but Spirit just gets exploded. The Conan just flashing forward with the Monsoon. They lock down a couple of kills already. Hatong, he's going to get flashed on by Aluka, who's just going mental in amongst this fight. Double kill already for the Ryze. Barely misses the Q as he's looking for the next one. Nails the triple as World6 now in a whole host of trouble. Mystic's going to come down here. They're looking for the dive onto the Echo if they can get it. Timewinder comes in. He's very low on mana.
But WE, they're on the chase. There's the chrono break.
I was going to say, he nearly gave the Quadra over to Aluka. And Spirit got blown up, and then Conan just won them the team fight. The Flash Monsoon came through. I definitely want to see that one again because he landed the Monsoon, served them endless on a silver platter, then got a 3-man tornado in the choke point, and was able to just continue to chase around. Fantastic team fighting out of this support player for WE.
Yeah, not to mention the Tailwind was doing work the whole time as well because he was right where everyone was trying to go. It's not normally that you can chase your way into a team fight utilizing the passive of Janna now that it's been changed just a little bit. So Mystic is going to have a few friends join him here on the bottom side of the map, but Vici now getting a bit of their own medicine this game around.
Yeah, and let's take another look at this. You see that Spirit, he gets blown up, has no impact in the fight whatsoever, but then Conan just delivers them endless on a silver platter, and watch this tornado come through. It was only a 2-man knockup, but able to take out Hetong. World 6 after that was in a load of trouble, and GA gives the kill over onto his top lane. You see, holds the auto attack there, was never in danger. All of a sudden, Luca 3-0 on 4, having a very strong performance on this Rise, and Dandy knows better than anyone what Snowballed Rise does in a game of League of Legends. They're trying to invade still, but you think that those days might be over.
Yeah, 3 hits still on this pink water, so Luca just makes his way around. They do smite it away. World 6 is going to lock down that one, but he's not going to worry about it too much as Rise already has that tier stacking up. He's got himself some Merc Treads as well on top of that Rod of Ages that now is on about 4 stacks, 20 minutes into this one, so keep an eye on that one. 25 minutes is about where it's going to be fully stacked up.
And you know, they just didn't look like they really minded about it because they had 40% CDR on their mid laner already.
Oh, Mata trying to predict the tunnel.
Rise doesn't really get impacted by CDR, so they just give up the objective. Not worth the fight, especially now that they've built themselves this huge lead.
Yeah. Seraph's Embrace is now done for Hetong.
And this is a completely different team this time around. We were criticizing WE for not taking fights. This time it's Conan aggressively flashing in on Ajana to make sure that they secured that team fight. 1 Dragon all now for WE, and we'll have to see whether the aggression continues.
Yeah, both times around, it's been sort of the Janna Vayne comp that's been working out for these sides. And despite the fact that the standard lanes did come out, Mystic and Conan definitely making the best of it.
50 CS is the advantage right now.
Ridiculous.
He's got a Phantom Dancer and Blade of the Ruined King. The luxury build. He hasn't been forced into something like the Duelist build with the Youmuu's Ghostblade. Doesn't even have the Static Shiv. Has gone all out on that attack speed and critical strike. And right now, in a 1v1 situation, probably only Hetong, if he's got Cleanse available, will be able to take it to Mystic.
Yeah, and even then, he's going to have to land every single one of those skill shots, and can be difficult on a slippery Vayne, as Endless just going to clear out this bottom wave, try and catch his way back up as best he can, but it's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. Spirit now warding things out on the top side of the map, and things looking very different for WE moving into this game. 22 minutes in, 4,000 gold is the lead at the moment for WE, looking to try and split this one with Vici if they can. And it's not necessarily the fact that this is going to be a split. It's a real morale boost for WE because that first game would have felt awful.
Yeah, it certainly would have. And, you know, once again, this time it is WE that makes a proactive move into the top lane. They grab the turret, and teleport is available for GA. Maybe he can get in there with his ultimate to see if they can get a fight going.
Yeah, Wildcard's poking in through the backside here as the knock-up onto World 6 comes through. He's going to be able to take that Dark Passage to safety as Vici now with 5 members strong in the mid lane. Death Sentence not going to find its mark. Mata with some fantastic ones earlier this game, but since then it's dropped off just a little bit on the accuracy. Cute little sapling soccer ball just hanging out there in the mid lane for a moment, but WE now put the pressure on, and Vici have to answer.
Yeah, very hard to push into this Cassiopeia at this point of the game, though. Has got the Saris and Void Star finished up, so clearing out the minion waves, and you see that they go back to their split push now. Xie in the bottom lane, Mystic in the top lane, or maybe the team fight's going to come through. They've brought out Mata.
Yeah, On the Hunt has been popped here, though, as Conan, he's going to have to flash away World 6. They're looking for a Luca who's ran around, but look at the petrifying gaze onto the Rise. He's still trying to run away, but it is going to be the Vayne locking up the kill. Endless tries to find a Luca, does get it with the tip of the boomerang, but On the Hunt not going to be nearly enough, even if it's not even there, as Mystic just launches his way through the fight and locks down the kill. GA getting credit for it. WE, they might move towards a Baron.
And once again, it's the aggressive play. GA flashing over the wall in the middle of 3 people. Spirit diving in, getting the 2-man knock-up. And Mystic just way too far ahead means that WE clean up 4 members, grab themselves a 24-minute Baron, And this is Vici Gaming all over again.
Yeah.
Terrific first game, falling apart in the second. Probably the most fitting storyline coming through. Which WE is going to show up? Which Vici Gaming is going to show up?
I guess the answer's
so
both,
confusing.
Yeah. A little bit ridiculous, and that was sort of the decisive shot calling again by WE. They wasted no time going towards that Baron. Easy as you like. Lock it down with the fact that they have a Vayne with a Blade of the Ruined King, and of course Silver Bolts there and a whole bunch of attack speed. Now has gone back, Pickaxe, and that QSS to get him out of any death sentences, anything interesting to find him there. Probably most likely a Twisted Advance from Dandy, who's pretty difficult to peel away. So Mystic going to be even safer in these fights.
Yeah, certainly is. And you know, the fact that there's no armor yet built up means that he doesn't even have to rush into a Last Whisper if he doesn't want to. Probably will, because it's very gold efficient on Vayne. But if he grabs something like an Infinity Edge next item, he's going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage, because right now, Twisted Fate and Rise are the real AoE threats, and they need to be aware of them. Another Destiny.
Yeah, GA looking for Marta here. Doesn't have the flash. Gold card's going to land. Descent's going to find someone, but this Thresh is getting blown up. Vengeful Maelstrom trying to do some work for Dandy, but it's not going to do anything to the true damage from Mystic right now. World 6 trying to be a nuisance, but he's just going to get locked down, and WE just running over all these team fights. You mentioned it, Tong might be able to solo out Mystic, just discovering that that is just flat out not true.
Yeah, now that the QSS is being built up, definitely not the case. Of course, I said that about 5 minutes ago. Surrender vote comes through.
Whoa, 25 minutes, and Vici Gaming just throw in the towel.
Oh, why not? They were 10,000 gold behind.
Yeah, well, look, still, they weren't even taking any of their base turrets.
And it is WE that gets the game back, guys, after a rather disappointing game one. This time, Aluka up top on the Rise. Last team fight, flashed in aggressively. Once again, it was like they were like, that is not how WE plays League of Legends. We're not happy to do that. We're leaving everything on the Rift this time around. You saw it in the level 1. Really scrappy fight. They came out behind in it. Then you saw it, how they played the rest of the game. Just any time there was an opening, they wanted to fight Vici, and they just came out in front every time.
Yeah, and look, they just created a small lead for themselves at the beginning and really made things work. I want to point out the fact that the bottom lane looking a whole lot better with the late scaling AD carry, but Aluka there on the Rise, definitely looking a whole lot better on something that isn't Nautilus or Sion.
Yeah, it certainly is able to get in there, you know. Turns out you just play the most broken champion we've released onto a live patch, and you're able to come up trumps. Like, I don't know what to say, man.
Right? Yeah. Okay, that's a very good point. But still, WE do manage to come out ahead, and picking up the Rise, definitely a good thing there, but they played the rest of the map very well at the same time. Spirit moving around the map very well on the Rek'Sai as well, counter-jungling things, picking up any advantage that they can possibly find. And he definitely farmed well, but he was much more of an impact outside of the jungle.
And that's what I want to point out. We went through the early stages of Spirit where he was playing things like Jungle Riven, just trying to be that solo carry for his team. Felt a lot of pressure. Then went ahead to gank his lanes. He's got a great assassin player in the mid lane, a solid AD carry, and then, of course, Aluka up there in the top lane, who I'm not even going to throw a word at. So he's proven that if he is more the facilitator for these guys, get them rolling, they can carry through, and this game showed exactly that.
Most certainly did. But ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at what this means for the standings of the LPL. Edward Gaming still holding that top position by a point. 1 point behind them is going to be Xiaogu there, and Invictus Gaming pull up with a massive sort of 3-person third place.
Yeah, and Masters 3 joins them in there, as well as Snake, OMG, Vici, and LGD. Finally round off the teams that are currently in playoff contention, and LGD would be breathing a very heavy sigh of relief because they had an absolute nightmare first half of the split.
Oh, they most certainly
managing to get their way back in.
Yeah, Royal Never Give Up sort of pulling up the rear end of the standings now as unlimited potential there. King and WE tied for last place. Both of these teams actually looking relatively strong. Of course, King splitting with EDG just moments before, but WE, after that split against Vici, still only clawing onto like a tied last place.
Yeah, and it's a 6 in the middle lane, you know. Consistency is so king right now in the LPL. You need to be able to get the 3 points in a couple of your victories. That extends your lead a little bit. Both teams not able to do that, only once each. And you have to say that if either of them are going to make a late push, they need to start stringing 2 zeros together.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the beauty of these sort of best of 2 situations, is the fact that the 2 zeros are what mean everything. You can tie it off, but sort of that second game just doesn't really feel like much at all because you need to be getting those extra couple of points for your team in order to move anywhere up the standings.
Talk to M3 about it. They jumped 5 places today, or 3 places, I think, just because they were able to get the 2-0 in there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this week's LPL. Make sure you tune in next week. But on behalf of myself,